Okay, we're going to go into professionalism, and I have to bring up some videos, some funny videos to get you laughing and talking. But kind of what I want you to do right now, earlier we talked about your major. You saw someone who had your major, all right? And I kind of want you to gather, and can I do this with 200 people? What do y'all think? Can I do this with 200 people? Because I want you to talk to somebody you haven't talked. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Think of your favorite teacher. Are you thinking? You got it? Think of your favorite teacher. All right, I want you to stand up and tell someone you have to walk to the table next to you. Just to the table next to you. So we're going to walk, you two, you two, you two, you two, like that. I want you to move to a table and tell somebody, because sitting too much, can you imagine student, I just can't even hardly stand that. So just get up and move and talk about your favorite teacher and then your least favorite teacher. And don't use names. Okay, so if it's Dr. Gordon, you can't say that. All right, but you need to get up and, because we're going to talk about we're talking about professionalism, what makes a good teacher next. So I need some background. Pop up, everybody stand up and move and talk to someone at a different table. It has to be someone you don't know. Okay, good conversation. Return to your seat. I hope you spent more time on the good teacher and not the bad teacher. You never know, but they are memorable. So, and it's funny that I can still remember this. So, great teacher for me. Her name was Miss Siebold. She was my 6th grade teacher. And when she came in, I'd had pretty much the same type of teacher. And she came in and I guess she was project-based. Now that, I can look at that. And so we did all kinds of things in the classroom. We used the stock market in a newspaper to do math. And so I remember her creativity and engagement. The worst teacher I had was, I'm not going to say his name, 7th grade science teacher. And he lectured and he assigned stuff out of the science book, and he walked around up and down the rows, so he was up and moving around, and shook change in his pocket the whole time. It drove me crazy, and I would finish my work, and if you took extra reading, because I was a reader, you got in trouble, And then I remember one of my coaches. Well, I didn't have him for a coach, but we called him Coach Conger. And I saw him again when I was like 30. But I remember him because he paddled me. So I was like straight A student and cheerleader, but I was a little bit out of control. I'd have to say so. And 1, 2, 3, third time you get paddled. And gave me a whooping. And not that I'm promoting that, but I needed it. So. And those are my kind of memories. So, what is it that makes a teacher? And professional dispositions. You talk about care and, I'm standing on my tiptoes. You talk about caring and compassion, things like that. And those are important characteristics. So your professionalism, how you act as a teacher, as a person, are really, really important. So, and you might not know this, no one's probably told you this, but you get a grade in class, right? But all your professors at the end, we go into it's a live text account, and we mark you, each individual student, on their professional dispositions. So you do get assessed. So if you don't hear anything, then you're doing okay. If you do hear something, then you're not doing so well. And there's a body called the Professional Review Board. Like, I'm giving you the serious stuff first, then we'll get into the good stuff, which I chair. And so students who are struggling with professional dispositions or academics come to us. So it's not part of your grade, and if you don't hear anything, then you're fine. You'd know it, right? So, so what are those? What are we going to assess you on? And that's what this presentation's about. So literally, it's the values, commitments, and ethics that you exhibit as a person. And it's where and with whom you exhibit these dispositions. So not only in your classroom, but also with students, families, colleagues, and communities. I have to say, when I was a young teacher, I have lost my temper, and I don't lose my temper very easily, actually, but yelled at a student. Now, is that appropriate? Thumbs up or thumbs down. Is yelling at your students appropriate? Yeah, I'm waiting to see everybody's thumb. Right. It is not appropriate. And, I did apologize. But yeah, I kind of lost it. So, but that is not a good professional disposition. And then how you interact with families. And then with your colleagues. Do you have positive interactions? And with the communities in general. So that's with whom you'll be doing this. So, number one is positive interactions. So participate actively in class, work effectively with others. So you're like, well, I take it online. Well, right now you're collaborating. And so when you stood up and you said, hello, my name is, this is my favorite teacher, you are positively interacting and you're working effectively with others. And so the online discussion boards that you use and do, and that you will do the whole time you're here, that's another thing we look at. Are you positive? Do you respect the person that you're speaking to, even if it's a difference of opinion? Because 222 people, a lot of differences of opinion. I had a teacher that I worked with from Ardmore, and she said opinions are like butts. Everybody thinks theirs looks good. I thought that's so funny. That didn't get a laugh at you. That was funny. I don't care who you are. Anyway, and then show respect for and consideration for the thoughts and feelings of others. So that's one thing that you are evaluated on, and what we want to see you do, have positive interactions. So respect for self and others. Let's watch a substitute. Let's watch a live video of a substitute teacher. Y'all ready? Who substitutes in here? Okay, keep your hand up if you substitute in high school. Okay. Okay, that was funny. And it's good to have a sense of humor when you're teaching, right? Now, we don't want to embarrass kids. But I just thought that was so funny. Give you all a laugh. But he stayed positive and he didn't yell at his students. But I'm still working on the eyes, I can't do the little lippy thing. David Spade's a funny guy. Oops. Where'd we go? So he got the class under control, didn't he? Okay, so you want to communicate well in a professional manner with the way you dress. Like when I do TEP interviews with students, I say, what is professionalism? And the first thing they say is the way I carry myself and the way I dress and the way I look. So you always want to do that. And you want to embrace diversity. Never had a PowerPoint that did this to me. Okay, so can y'all see that link right there? Can everybody see it? I want you to put that link into your phone or on your computer and read that. Okay? I hope you can access it. So it's www.nea.org/home/38324.htm. Try to bring that up and read it. Want to get fired from your first teaching job? Don't read this article. Seriously, just click on something else. There's nothing to see here. Move along. First, let's debunk the free speech myth. Many teachers believe they have the absolute First Amendment right to post anything they want on social networking sites, including party pics and diatribes about the boss. After all, they're on their own time and using their own resources. Sadly, the courts say otherwise. Thanks to Facebook and MySpace. Does anybody even use MySpace anymore? I never used that. I was just straight Facebooker. What used to be private is now very public, and that's the problem, particularly for young teachers. Some seem oblivious to the devastating consequences of posting really stupid things in cyberspace. The exploding popularity of these sites has engendered a prurient interest in teachers' private lives by school administrators and the media. Newspapers across the country have begun trolling social networking sites for embarrassing and titillating postings by local teachers, like the paparazzi. And there's another treasure trove of material to be mined. The Charlotte Observer reported that an after-school staffer from Charlotte was fired for his Facebook comment that he likes chilling with my niggas and suggestive exchange with a female friend. 2 probationary teachers faced termination for their Facebook musings that I'm feeling pissed because I hate my students and I'm teaching in the most ghetto school in Charlotte. People really, this is real. This is real. The Columbus, Ohio Dispatch ran an expose entitled, "Teachers' Saucy Web Profiles Risk Jobs." One 25-year-old female bragged on her MySpace site about being sexy and an aggressive freak in bed. Another confessed that she recently got drunk, took drugs, went skinny dipping, and got married. Why do I tell you all of this? As someone who's been on the Professional Review Board for 7 years, and we have pulled, this is the kind of stuff we see that come to like schools, students, it's brought to our attention and then we have to do something about it. It has caused some interns to be pulled from the college. And I'm being really serious. It's terrible. Like I have gone through been on that committee, and then I went to the bathroom and cried because it's so upsetting that someone's life was ruined by just one dumb thing. But once it gets out in the community, and now when they hire you, or like they're going to interview you, a school system, they'll search right away. Like if you Googled your name, what comes up? Everybody Google your name right now and tell me what comes up. Or at least tell your partner. There's too many of us. Tell me. Google my name. No, don't. Okay. Probably one of the first things that comes up is your Facebook. A connection to you on Facebook. See how easy that is? Okay, so what's on your Facebook, And Instagram, Twitter, I guess not Snapchat, but I'm just saying be careful, be conscious about it. When you go out into the school system and you think, well, I'm not friends with anybody at that school. It's a small world in Alabama. Somebody knows somebody who knows somebody who saw it. So either one, privacy settings real tight, or just, use it for the right thing. And there's a bunch of these. So social media is something you need to really be conscious of. I didn't mean to scare y'all. That's why I tried to show you something funny first. Okay, so you also need to exhibit interest in learning and the learner. So that's another professional disposition. So if you're just there to do your job, just to be a babysitter in a second grade classroom, you got to show interest in the learner and the learning. And then in your classroom, the work you turn in, the work you do, tells us if you're interested in the learner and the learning process. Do you read your material? Do you come prepared to class, things like that. So when you start doing your lesson plans, are they developmentally appropriate? Like in 302, you had to create an inventory and survey. Not create, but go find one. That was supposed to be a simple assignment, nothing too difficult. Go find an interest inventory or a survey. And then you're going to administer it. So would you take a 30-question survey and give it to a kindergartner? No, absolutely not. So that would be developmentally inappropriate. And then differentiating instruction. This means, just briefly, like when I'm looking at course of study standards and doing developing objectives, I look at levels. I look at a high level, medium level, low level, like a cognitive level, Bloom's taxonomy. If you don't know about Bloom's taxonomy, everybody needs to go out and print themselves a thing of Bloom's taxonomy. There's lots of them, connected to apps, all kinds of things. And in your lesson plans and when you plan things, do you have a variety of activities? And then assume responsibility. This professional disposition in the classroom means you know when things are due, you turn things in on time. You assume responsibility for that. You find out what you need to find out. In field experience, it means when I go into the classroom, I offer to help. I say, would you like me to do anything? Would you like me, if I see a stack of papers that's all messed up, just go over there and, straighten it up. If I see a student struggling, you might ask the teacher, do you mind if I go help that student? That's assuming responsibility. You don't walk in and sit down and get on your computer or your phone or do your homework, okay? You really need to be in the moment while you're there. We even had someone in field experience paint her toenails in the teacher's classroom. I'm not kidding. I should write a book. We have such, it's just the craziest stuff. I'm like, yeah, so do it on the way to work while you're driving, But don't do it in the classroom. Another thing, just FYI, okay, a student has internship early Monday morning, so the student happened to be at the Bama game, Saturday, Sunday. I tailgated at Auburn for 7-8 years. Okay, so he shows up, and evidently he got in late, and he, trying to get in by 7:30, because you need to be there at 7:30. So he jumps out of his car, and as he's running away, he clicks to lock it. Anybody ever done that? He clicks to lock it. Well, what he did, he didn't lock it, he popped open his trunk. So, I don't know, have y'all ever been tailgating? What might be in your trunk when you tailgate? Case of beer, a bottle of Fireball. I'm trying to think what else is in there. Okay, so that in itself, but the problem was you can't have that kind of stuff on campus. And so a teacher coming in a little bit later walked by and saw it. Oh, that boy it was a mess. Well, it wasn't too much of a mess, but he learned a hard lesson. So, don't take it on campus, but make sure when you lock your car, you're not popping your trunk, okay? Just so things like that, just kind of be conscious. So you need to attend all your practicum experiences. If you have 3 days of field experience, that's 3 days. That's not a couple of hours here. You need to attend the 3 days. And if you have to do half days, the field experience records that. So then it would be 6 half days. You've got to, maybe you can get by with that in 302, but when you go to the other practicums for your critical assignments, you've got to be there all day because you're teaching and things like that. And be punctual. Just lock your car, not pop your trunk. Okay, and then dress professionally. Okay, I want to show you the video. I created this. It was my first Animoto video. I was so excited. Teaching 305 taught me a whole lot of things. So what you wear is really important when you go into the schools. Why does it keep doing that? There we go. And you want to present and especially if you're young, you want to look different than the students if you're in high school. Like a friend of mine, Jency Brent, is doing her internship, I think at Athens High School. She's real small, real short, and she was like, how can I make myself look differently? I'm dressing, professionally every day. So, you have to kind of work at that because people think she's a kid when she's in there. I said, always wear a jacket. Just always wear a jacket. That does it. I said, and walk like you have purpose. So teachers walk fast, We walk very fast everywhere we go. So, but how you dress is really important. And I don't care if it's blue jean day on Friday and you're there for internship, you're not wearing blue jeans. You're going to wear khakis. Okay, I have a ton of khakis. I like my blue jeans, but choose khakis. Now, if you're outside in your physical education and it's 102 degrees on the playground, don't wear a suit, okay? We had an intern who did that, and he took it seriously. But, just be thoughtful about it. Don't show, what is it that Bridget says? Nobody's in here. She says the three B's, avoid the 3 B's. Boobs, belly, and butt. So, I was like, she delivers it much funnier than I do. So, don't show it. That includes you men, too, okay? And then, of course, demonstrate academic integrity. Don't copy. Y'all think that's pretty common, pretty basic. I would add, you can't, and maybe some people don't know this, but you can't use an assignment from one class for another class. So if you write a lesson plan in one class, you can't use that in another class. So when I did teach lesson planning, they were supposed to write maybe a science, and they submitted a math. I guess they didn't think I was looking, but you don't want to repeat. The whole point, remember, you're preparing to be an effective teacher, so you've got to do that. And then stewardship of diversity. Even if you're not in a diverse school.
Welcome to the Teachers Toolbox, a video resource created by Dr. Sherry Valentine.
I should write this down. They have a lot of good stuff in there.
For students pursuing careers in education.
So y'all should go check that video out. But it was the Teachers Toolbox. It's really good, in case you're not sure what that means. But you'll get a lot of that in our courses. So in class, listen in a respectful manner. Exhibit the understanding of race, gender, class, privilege. Okay, and then the use of technology. You've got to figure out how to use all the technology we use. Like MindMeister, that is like a software that's external to Athens. So the Athens Help Desk can't really help you with that. MindMeister itself has lots of videos. And when you use screencasts, there's lots of videos. And when you use, we use a lot of technology, definitely because we have a lot of distance learning. So once again, assuming responsibility and then using that, and thinking about using it when you start writing your lesson plans. That's an exciting part. All the things I get to see with what they're doing in the classes. That's why I love going out into the schools. So then the fairness and belief that all students can learn. Okay, so the professional dispositions, how you interact here on campus and in cyber reality, cyber space, in your online courses, and how you act in field experience. And so if you're in 302, you're going out to field experience very soon, and just keep this in mind. And first impressions, like how you dress, first impressions, walk up, shake the hand of whoever, not this little hand, shake the hand, eye contact. That I think is so important, and practice it.